Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Okay, so, as it happens with all these episodes, I don't know where we're going with these photos, right? So it's kind of like a roller coaster or an adventure. And what's really great to me is this image is really like I said, it makes my brain go, huh? Okay, so it's called, I guess, how would I spell it? Say it, Jorge?
Yes. Okay. Balatro.
Okay. And it's,
yes.
So it's a guy dressed up as a kind of a mime clown costume. He's propped on his right hand. He's wearing like a vest. So his clothing seems kind of purplish. And the shirt, he's wearing a white shirt. His face is white. He's got a kind of a top, like a bowler hat. He's got white gloves. His legs are in this perfect sort of pose, but he's kind of caught about to do a handstand or something. There's a weird line going from his shoe to his fingers.
The antenna.
But the antenna. Okay. So it's not.
TV.
Oh, okay. So there's nothing.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Yes.
And the field, the color field, is all this beautiful red to fuchsia, just background. Like it looks like a photographic background because there's no clear line. It's just like this kind of almost spectrum going up. There's like a piano bench, and there's a box or maybe a footrest, and on top of it maybe a radio with the antenna. Savannah, what is this?
This is my friend Balatro, and he is in the local drag scene in Hong Kong. So he does shows in different venues in Hong Kong. He does his own shows. He's really just so involved in the art scene here. Like even for Art Basel, he would walk around in his Balatro outfit, and so he is a mime actually. And
nice.
He is an amazing dancer. He's from Honduras.
Oh, wow.
And I had the idea of, so it was Jorge, so Balatro, my friend Gabor, my friend Wilson, and the three of them together were in a group that Gabor and Wilson had created called Drag Jam. And I had also done maybe 1 or 2 shows with them as a bio queen drag show a few years ago. And we've just, stayed really close. So there was one day I was just like, you know what, I'm going to book a studio and let's take some photos. I had the idea of recreating old Hollywood movies. So for Jorge, it wasn't actually a movie. It was the reaction of a mime transitioning, or a mime realizing or being informed of the talkies. And say what his reaction would be. So this is one of the photos. I think there are about like 9 photos in total of Jorge for this series. These have also been turned into videos. They're initially videos, and so the static on the screen moves. In the other photos, I also incorporate my distortion moves. Like the previous photo, I try and always add that in somewhere because I just like to distort reality.
No, it's cool.
But yeah, so he just started dancing and it was fantastic, and I got some really fun shots with him. So it was him, his theme was Mime Meets the Talkies. Then Gabor's was Zazahu, which is his drag name. Hers was The Creature of the Black Lagoon. So we did some sort of recreation with that. And Wilson, drag name is Mushi, we did the old Godzilla. So that was really fun, but in our own sort of drag interpretation.
Okay, so again, huge prompt for people to go check out the photos, because what's really neat is that it's always neat to see somebody who's physically fit, into movement, into shaping and moving the body. And so he's doing this kind of half handstand with his legs in this amazing fantastic sort of shape, really. And so what's great in the photo is that it's always neat to see how a photograph captures a moment in dance when the movement is like, you would never see this movement. It's a completely artificial, unnatural way of seeing the human body. And because it's so stylized with the red, this beautiful cherry tomato red background, and he's wearing like his mime outfit and everything. It's just like it's neat because it visually doesn't make sense, which I find really fun because it's also motion. So it's
yes, perfect.
Yeah, like, I'm just describing what I see, but it's also like the fact there's something really like deliberately almost sensual about the visual impact, right? And so it's kind of like, like it's so fun to just look at. And so have you printed this ever, or is this only on a monitor, or like how do people experience this?
I have not printed it actually, but my Instagram is open and I do accept any print orders through DM. And basically I do have a shop on my website, but like it's just, it doesn't work that way. But I like the personal messages better if somebody wants it that way.
But like, have you displayed it? Like, I
have not. No.
Because in a way, I get like right now on my how I'm seeing it on my laptop. It's in real life. It's about 5x7, in terms of the size. And wouldn't it be amazing to see? So, for example, what camera did you shoot it with?
So this one was my Canon 7D, which I've had since I was 14.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's been there throughout the whole journey. But yeah, I shot this with my Canon. It's funny because it was on a 50mm lens, and that's the only lens I have with this camera because the other one's busted. So I had to go really far back in order to get his entire body. But it's funny, I showed him the picture and he's like, I don't even remember being upside down. He has no recollection of him doing that move, so it's always funny.
And what's also interesting, just in terms of the material or the actual image that you have, like you could probably get a really large size out of this. And wouldn't it be interesting for someone to experience it almost life size? You know what I mean? Like as a interaction. No, it's great. Yeah.
That would be great. Now my mind is drifting and being like, maybe I can do this with it.
No, it's awesome. It's great. It's great.
Thank you.
The podcast is about inspiring people. So in terms of your experience as an artist and as a photographer and how you work, what was the most sort of typically validating reaction to your work, like where somebody said, "Oh, I love this. I want this in my living room." As a, you know what I mean? Like what was probably one of the times when somebody, like, where the feedback from a viewer was, "Oh, I love this so much. I have to have this."
I think it was last year, October, I decided to put on a show at the Lamma Art Collective. And this was like first show I'd ever done. I was just like, screw it, I'm going to do it myself. Fun. Yeah, and it was great. And it was with the Reform series, the Isle of Fairies. And I had displayed the 6 images, and then I also had the projections on the ceiling or around the room. But I also had a massive piece of paper, and I wrote down it said in the middle, what consumes your mind the most? And I invited people to write their comments. And throughout the weeks that the exhibition was open, for me, it wasn't about people saying like, oh, I like how this looks. I think I want it big on my living room. I mean, that is always fantastic to hear, by the way. But it was more so about the conversations that I had with people about just being able to talk about what the art represented itself. And from that exhibition, I was able to meet so many people who just wanted to come sit and talk about different viewpoints in life and how they could, jump in and be an artist as well. Because a lot of the art that I do is, I just want people to do the best that they can. And so it was the conversations within the art, around the art, about what the art was about, which was, I think, the validating part.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I say we move from this one to the next image because I'm so excited to see the next one.
Fantastic.
You're good? Nice.
I'm very good.
So is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.